Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. There is only one thing in life worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. When I was young I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I am old I know that it is. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. The only difference between the saint and the sinner is that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Between men and women there is no friendship possible. There is passion, enmity, worship, love, but no friendship. Sometimes the poor are praised for being thrifty. But to recommend thrift to the poor is both grotesque and insulting. It is like advising a man who is starving to eat less. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. America is the only country that went from barbarism to decadence without civilization in between. Keep love in your heart. A life without it is like a sunless garden when the flowers are dead. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives a mimicry, their passions a quotation. To lose one parent may be regarded as a misfortune, to lose both looks like carelessness. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. A man's face is his autobiography. A woman's face is her work of fiction. Men marry because they are tired. Women, because they are curious. Both are disappointed. Beauty is the only thing that time cannot harm. Philosophies fall away like sand, creeds follow one another, but what is beautiful is a joy for all seasons, a possession for all eternity. All art is at once surface and symbol. Those who go beneath the surface do so at their peril. Those who read the symbol do so at their peril. It is the spectator, and not life, that art really mirrors. Diversity of opinion about a work of art shows that the work is new, complex and vital. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good characters, and my enemies for their intellects. A man cannot be too careful in the choice of his enemies. Beauty has as many meanings as man has moods. Beauty is the symbol of symbols. Beauty reveals everything, because it expresses nothing. When it shows us itself, it shows us the whole fiery colored world. No better way is there to learn to love nature than to understand art. It dignifies every flower of the field. And, the boy who sees the thing of beauty which a bird on the wing becomes when transferred to wood or canvas will probably not throw the customary stone. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good characters, and my enemies for their intellects. A man cannot be too careful in the choice of his enemies. Beauty has as many meanings as man has moods. Beauty is the symbol of symbols. Beauty reveals everything, because it expresses nothing. When it shows us itself, it shows us the whole fiery colored world. If a work of art is rich and vital and complete, those who have artistic instincts will see its beauty, and those to whom ethics appeal more strongly than aesthetics will see its moral lesson. It will fill the cowardly with terror, and the unclean will see in it their own shame. In designing the scenery and costumes for any of Shakespeare's plays, The first thing the artist has to settle is the best date for the drama. This should be determined by the general spirit of the play more than by any actual historical references which may occur in it. There should be a law that no ordinary newspaper should be allowed to write about art. The harm they do by their foolish and random writing it would be impossible to overestimate, not to the artist, but to the public, blinding them to all but harming the artist not at all. Nothing, indeed, is more dangerous to the young artist than any conception of ideal beauty. He is constantly led by it either into weak prettiness or lifeless abstraction. Whereas to touch the ideal at all, you must not strip it of vitality. Perhaps one of the most difficult things for us to do is to choose a notable and joyous dress for men. There would be more joy in life if we were to accustom ourselves to use all the beautiful colors we can in fashioning our own clothes. Literature must rest always on a principle, and temporal considerations are no principle at all. For, to the poet, all times and places are one. The stuff he deals with is eternal and eternally the same. No theme is inept, no past or present preferable. In England, an inventor is regarded almost as a crazy man, and in too many instances, invention ends in disappointment and poverty. In America, an inventor is honored, help is forthcoming, and the exercise of ingenuity, the application of science to the work of man, is there the shortest road to wealth. In its primary aspect, a painting has no more spiritual message than an exquisite fragment of Venetian glass. The channels by which all noble and imaginative work in painting should touch the soul are not those of the truths of lives. Yes, there is a terrible moral in Dorian Gray. A moral which the prurient will not be able to find in it, but it will be revealed to all whose minds are healthy. Is this an artistic error? I fear it is. It is the only error in the book. Nothing, indeed, is more dangerous to the young artist than any conception of ideal beauty. He is constantly led by it either into weak prettiness or lifeless abstraction. Whereas to touch the ideal at all, you must not strip it of vitality. Literature must rest always on a principle, and temporal considerations are no principle at all. For, to the poet, all times and places are one. The stuff he deals with is eternal and eternally the same. No theme is inept, no past or present preferable.